folks, we got a disk wiping good time going on right now. My motive is twofold. I'm hoping that doing this will get these to reallocate their bad sectors. Somehow I doubt it, but, you know, I can dream. And at least it's a good start. I'll still check them individually, but it's a good start. I'm hoping that I can put these back into the pool of drives to use in an emergency if something happens. I'd never trust them on a long-term basis ever again, but, you know, a start's a start. Speaking of a start, I have a couple server projects here, and my experiences is that I don't actually end up editing these videos until about 2,000 years later. I have 3 projects in this video that I want to get to. This one, the Proxmox backup server. This, the security camera stuff. And this, one of my PvE hosts. Now, in the case of this, if we come over here and take a look, that's the wrong server, here's what's going on in terms of drives, but we have a problem. You can see there we've got some pending sectors, and that is causing me grief with failures to do specific verification runs. We're definitely having some problems there. Although it is working, and existing stuff is okay, I will need to take care of that. So that's one thing that needs to be done, and that's technically independent of all these other things. These two will depend on each other. This has got 3 disks in it, all of which are 1 terabyte. Again, we come back here, you see that plays out. But look at how little space is actually being used here on these. If it load ever, I don't know why that's taking forever, but probably means there's something wrong with it. It's probably getting ready to ram one end of itself into the other, but you can see there, not a whole lot of usage on that. That could probably work with a 500 gigabyte drive. This one, even less. So those 2 disks are going to get out of here, and they're going to be replaced. I have a couple of drives sitting here. Again, this is just what's sitting around. Take a look here. I have a 320 and a 500. These are going to go in there. I think both of these are 3 gigabit per second drives, but it doesn't matter because this is 3 gigabit per second anyway. One of those 1 terabyte drives is a 6 gigabit per second drive, and it's going to actually go in here to replace one of the 500s because, as you might have guessed, it was running out of space. Right now I've got everything moved over to the temporary. Yeah, not enough room on a 500 gig drive for that. So, I'll start with the backup server since that one's the most important, that it actually works. And I guess while I'm doing that, I'll transfer these, figure out what's on them. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. You just figure out which VM disks are here. Looks like 103, 110, 115. And just move them. I'm going to actually move them all here because there's more than enough room on this in order to allow that to happen. So, I'll go ahead and I will take care of that. I mean, that's pretty easy. You've seen that before in previous videos. You just go in here, you come to this, and you go disk action, move storage, you select your drive. Pretty easy stuff. So I'll do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw the new drive, which is going to have to be 2 terabytes, into this. I'm going to try this drive since I'm curious if it actually works. If it doesn't work, I have this one sitting here. Okay, so in terms of this is what we've got. Now, because this is backups, I could just choose to start this all over again. But I don't think that's a good idea, because I would like to keep the existing backups on here. So we will be transferring I don't know why this is always half off the screen. I wish it wasn't. Because the problem is now that I've adjusted it, it's going to readjust itself for all the other ones. I'll have to readjust it later. Because if I go to the next one, like let's just say, I'll let that boot. Let's just say, for example, this, you can see now that's half off the screen. So I don't know what the difference is between them, it's just kind of weird. We'll let that boot. There shouldn't be any reason why it wouldn't start. I would think and hope. I hear noises. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work. Maybe it died. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Well, we'll give it a few minutes. Well, so much for that Seagate drive. Apparently it was the thing that was holding up that boot process. Because with this one, it was about 20 billion times faster. Now it's back up again. Okay, I bet I'll reload this and it'll ask me for my password. Or maybe it'll just work. That's nice of it. Come back to disks. And am I on the right server here? Oh yeah, no, I am on the right server. It just reordered my drives for some reason. So this one is EZRZ with the NTFS. Take a look at its smart values and just make sure that it's fine. And it looks okay. And then we'll wipe it. We'll reinitialize it. Go to directory, create on that. Use the same XFS that we were using before. We'll call it temporary, and we'll create it. So now what I need to do is I need to come in here and we'll rsync /dash backup 3 temp. And now that we're out of focus, this should be alright, I would like to think. That it'll begin transferring files. Yep, there's activity going on there. And yep, there it goes. So now it's transferring all that stuff, and that is about 2 terabytes of data, so that might take a while. Okay, that transfer is still going on to the backup server, but this is done here. I'm not going to power that back on, I don't need to, but I've left some notes so I know where they need to go. And you can see just how little space is actually being used on this entire box. Kind of get an idea, the steady increase there. That's like 200 gigabytes on these 2 disks combined, so I can almost combine them into one, but I don't want to do that. The reason why I don't want to do that is for performance reasons, because putting everything on the same disk, certainly like I've done here, even though this is only temporary, is going to be slow because you're limited to the performance of your drive and of your particular system. And since that system is SATA 3 gigabit per second only, and that drive is SATA 3 gigabit per second only anyway on top of that, well, the performance isn't going to be great. Plus, it's not a good idea to put everything on a single disk. Yes, it's backed up, but if that disk fails, then you got to do a lot more recovery. And I want to save myself some time. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Although first, before I do that, I'm going to make sure this is turned off. Sorry, that the started boot on this is off, and it is. So we'll go ahead and we'll power this down. That'll power itself down. That might take a while because there's a lot of virtual machines running on that, and of course they're going to be hitting the disk quite heavily now. Okay, move these out of the way. Took the faceplate off and the front thing off because these, I believe anyway, are the two drives that I need to take out. But I made a mistake. Actually, it might be a pretty big mistake, but I believe I can fix it. It just means that the first boot's going to take longer. I forgot to delete the old drives, so the old mounts are going to still be active, and the system's not going to like it very much because they won't be there anymore. And I'm not powering it back on again just for that. You know, it's 2:30. I want to get this done so that I can work on that. Okay, so these are the two old drives. This one and this one. I want to reuse this one, but of course I probably damaged it because that was quite the pain to get out of there. I don't know, I think there's something slightly messed up about this bracket, but whatever. It's installed, or it was installed, and it will be installed again. So now I just got to get these put back, or get the new drives put in their place. Okay, out with the old, in with the new. Let me go ahead and lift this thing up a little bit. Just at least get it up off the floor. We'll power it on. Should do just fine. Might complain about memory errors. I hope not, but thermal solution compromised. Yeah, I don't really care. I just want to make sure that this is going to work. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's not the best idea to let the operating system try and boot. Go into setup here. And it'll probably complain about the thermal again. I'll have to put the cover on. But I just want to make sure that both drives are detected. All drives, there's the boot drive, there's the existing one, 500 gig, and a 320. Alright. So I'll go ahead, power that off, I'll put the covers back on, and we'll see this thing start up. Yeah, probably won't even be able to read that, but I wanted to see what it was before this was off. Maybe that would have been a good idea. Turn it off. You can see there, load is about 670, 660, 626. Less than 700 watts. Power this on. 888, 941. Yeah, so you can see that this machine is sucking down quite a bit of juice. So really, if I were going to do this right, I'd replace the machine, but that'll have to come later. Right now I just kind of want the system to work. I know I have to replace the boot disk on it anyway, because the boot disk is junk. Yeah, I'll let that try and boot. It's going to take a little bit longer because it's going to try and mount those volumes it can't find. But once it's failed that and I've dealt with some stuff, I'll sign into the console, delete those old mounts, and get rid of them. And we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, we're looking at about like 855. 849, 857. You can see there just how much that's using. Okay, so we'll come into the console. These things booting is just fine. Want to go to directory. I don't think I can do this from the web administration console because these don't actually exist anymore. I don't know what that does. That'll probably fail. Oh, it didn't fail. Okay. Obviously I can't do cleanup disks. You can do cleanup storage configuration, see if that works. Yeah, alright. So those are gone. Now my question is, how good is the smart information on these two new disks? This is the 500. And that one looks good. Yeah, it looks just fine. So I'll go ahead and I'll erase that. This one, the 320, also looks okay. There's a lot more power on ours, but looks good. So that was used, that actually was already used. Dev SDD3 has a holder. Why? It's not mounted or anything, is it? Huh. Okay, so running an LV remove. Apparently it was using a Proxmox backup server at one point. So it still had the PBS boot stuff on it. So I deleted all of that. And then I was able to wipe the device, so now we're okay. We'll reinitialize these disks. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff that decided not to boot. So that's nice of it. Not sure why this is showing up. Okay, well that's odd. Alright, so that might prevent this from working properly. We'll go back, go to directory, create, from there, ext4, VM2, see if it'll actually, yeah, it says it already exists, but it's actually wrong. And I don't remember how to do that on this, so I'll have to do a little bit more investigation. Okay, I went into the system on the console and deleted that from etc pve storage.cfg, so let's see if it works now. Or if it still thinks it exists. There we go. That's much better. See the disk activity over there. Well, actually that's not even really a good indication because there's still stuff going on the main disk, so that's why that's not going so well. So I should be able to do the same thing here. VMS3. And it shouldn't complain. It'll do all of that. Alright. So now I have my mounts in the correct drives in the correct places. So the only thing I have to do is move the data over. Well, I suppose first, doesn't really matter. I'll just start these. I don't know why that wasn't set to start at boot. Same thing with these. I don't know why they're not set to start at boot. I'll start them and I'll deal with them later. Now I gotta deal with the other host. You can see I/O delay on that. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but either way, the only one here, this one, of course I gotta log in again. Come into it on the disk side, and we can see that the drive we need to remove is a Western Digital 500 gig. It's already been wiped. It's already been removed from all the configurations. So I should just have to go to this, shut down the node, and I mean, that'll be half off the screen, but once that's done, I should be able to come in here and remove that drive. This should be really straightforward and simple. There it is. RAID Edition, Enterprise Class. Well, it's hot, that's what it is. Ooh, it's really hot. 500 gig. As they say, out with the old, in with the new. I'd rather use a Western Digital drive, but I don't actually have a 6 gigabit per second Western Digital drive sitting around. So I'd rather have the speed. If it dies, I can replace it with something else. Okay, it's in place. All these drives are really kind of hot. I think I say it every time I work on this, but I should put a fan right there in that opening. I don't know. Technically you need special screws to do that, but maybe I should just glue a fan in there or something. I don't know if that fan in the back of the case is even really working. Yeah, here you can see half off the screen. This should boot without any issues. Shouldn't have any problems with that. Okay, so here you can see it's picked back up where it left off. Go ahead and reload the page. There's our new disk. Check the smart data. Again, even though it shouldn't have changed. We'll wipe it because it shouldn't be mounted. Just double check that. Nope, it's not mounted. Should be able to wipe it without any problems. We'll reinitialize it. We'll come in here to directory. We'll create it. Ext4, VMs4, we'll add it, and then I'll have to move the data over from that. Shouldn't be a big deal. And I'll put the cover on that and put that back, and then it's just this thing left. Alright, so everything is basically done. I've transferred all the stuff for that. Dealt with that, and everything is good. So all the transfers are pretty much done. See there, excuse me. Disk space usage. I did reorganize a bunch of stuff. Probably move around a few more things to optimize it a little bit, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. And then there's the new drive here. Oh, pretty good to go. Last thing I need to do is, of course, the backup server there. Put the drive in. I have everything transferred over, but of course, guess what? Run out of space on it. So I'm going to have to I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'll have to get a bigger drive for it, and that'll have to come later. I'm thinking for the time being, I'll probably change the prune run just to keep one. Because, I mean, for that particular, I don't really care that much. So So just let it run through that. Then I have to put the drive in place. Okay, should be in place now. I'll just get these cables in there. Moment of truth. Hopefully it starts up without any issue. Actually, it won't, because I did realize that I forgot one thing. I left the old mount active. So that'll have to be fixed. Okay, pulled them out, so that should no longer be causing a problem. And all those drives are there. So we're doing okay on that. So that's good. That's pretty much it for that anyway. Put it away. Now I guess it's time for me to put myself away because it's 11:30 and I need to get to bed for work at this point. So, thanks for watching this 3-in-1 video. If you've got any comments, please do feel free to leave them below.